Good morning, everybody on Facebook, and how are you today? Welcome to another edition of Hammer Time Radio. Our good friend Matt Schultz is here from TRS. Guess what we're talking about today? Yep, AC. So line up your questions at 716-803-0930. Outside Buffalo, 1-800-616-WBEN. Write your question here on Facebook or text it to us as well. Same as our call-in number, 716-803-0930. We are about to begin.
I'm meteorologist Chad Merrill.
Thanks, Chad. Right now, mostly sunny skies, 77 degrees in Buffalo.
Here we go. How's your AC working? Haha, you come to the right place at the right time. Hammer Time Radio starts right here, right now.
Leaking roof? Need new windows? Looking to remodel your kitchen or bath? You've come to the right place and the right time. Broadcasting on News Radio 930 WBEN since 1989, this is Hammer Time Radio. Now, your host, your man for home improvements, Dominic Cortez. Brought to you by Lakeshore Savings Bank, putting people first since 1891.
Good morning, homeowners, and welcome once again to Hammer Time Radio here on WBEN. Dominic Cortez with you, and our good friend Matthew Schultz from TRS Heating and Air Conditioning, spending the first hour with us. Good morning, Matthew.
Good morning. How you doing?
Good, good. I'm sure you've been a very busy boy, and
to say the least.
We're going to be talking about what's keeping you busy, and a lot of it is preventable. Isn't that true?
100% correct.
Yeah. So what we want to emphasize today, folks, is you need to learn from your mistakes today. If you're sitting home without AC, it may be something you could have avoided by learning from Matt today as to what you need to do to keep your AC running when you need it.
That is correct.
Yeah.
We got to stop ignoring that box that just sits on the outside of your house that cools it.
Well, like anything in human nature, I think it's out of sight, out of mind, so we don't worry about it until it's in front of us or it's broken, and then we've got to fix it. Of course, you're there for that, but to keep systems running properly is what we want to talk about today. Topping the list is the wonderful thing known as cottonwood.
Oh, yeah, and it's been a bad season for cottonwood this year.
Yep. So it restricts airflow, it reduces efficiency, it overheats the unit, it can shorten its lifespan. Regular inspections are the key, and you can use a hose, right, to wash it out?
Yes, you could use a hose. All the air conditioners have a metal grate around them. You can spray from the outside, but it doesn't do a good enough job. Typically, it's just a handful of screws. You can take those 4 covers off on the side of your unit, and you want to spray that coil with a hose. I did it to my own this year. The cottonwood, it looked like a blanket on my air conditioner outside, and that prevents it from breathing, and it's going to shut your system down. It's very important. You can't necessarily see through those metal grates. You might think it looks good. It's not.
We probably lost 3/4 of our listening audience when you said you could do that yourself. I think people would be intimidated by the process of messing with the condenser. You know, I think I would probably be in that category. Mm-hmm. So that's the service you provide.
Yes, it is. Yep. Usually we come out on our maintenance and we go through a 17-point check. One of those things is obviously checking to see if the condenser's dirty, if the indoor evaporator coil is dirty. At that point, we quote you to do a cleaning. We can actually do a chemical cleaning on it. Mm-hmm. Sometimes you don't need a chemical cleaning. Sometimes just using the hose is enough. And other times, if it's been you disregard that unit for all those years, you're going to have a chemical cleaning on it.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. So we talked about being ahead of this, and the only real way you can be ahead of it is a couple things. First of all, run your system off season.
Yes, yeah. When we get into late April, maybe first week in May, and we get a day that's 65, 66, maybe in the higher 60s, turn that air conditioning on. If you have your house set to 70, so now turn your air conditioning on, set it down to 66, something like that, and get your air conditioner running, see if it brings it down a temp to know that it's working before we get these extremely hot temperatures like we did, this past week.
And then, of course, secondly, and probably more importantly, is to have it serviced annually.
Yep. Once a year. Once a year, you can come out, you do your furnace, do your AC. Both units need to be looked at every year. These new systems have a lot more to go wrong with them. It's not like the old one. You might have an air conditioner that's out there for 30 years you never touched. It's not designed that way anymore.
Let's talk about expectations. I think people sometimes have false expectations as to how well their system should be performing. There's formulas that you work with to compute an expectation on as far as temperature.
That is correct. The industry standard is using a manual J calculation. We go off square footage, windows, R value of windows, which way the house faces, color of the roof, a number of different factors, the size of furnace, size of air conditioner. It needs to be sized correctly. Too small, it can't be too small, and it can't be too big. The whole idea of air conditioning is to condition the air. You're not cooling the air. We want to take the humidity out of the air. So if it's oversized, the unit's going to come on and shut off too quickly, so you're not going to condition that air. If it's too small, it's going to continually run, not cool your house down, and could freeze up. So sizing matters in AC.
Okay. Expectations as far as how to run the system. We had callers last week talking about turning their system off when they're at work.
No, especially if it's going to be hot out. We don't believe in setback. You turn your air conditioning on, you find a temperature you like, and you keep it at that temperature. Now, if it's really hot, if you're going to have a 90-degree day, you can't expect your air conditioner to get down to 65. Max you're looking at is a 20-degree difference from outside to inside. So yeah, you want to keep that running. You got to realize you're not just cooling the air. You're cooling everything in the house, the furniture, the carpet, the walls. We got to get that humidity out. So if you open your windows on a very humid day, it could take 24 hours now to recool that house, get the humidity out.
So you're basically not only going to be uncomfortable, but you're probably spending more on utility as well.
Yes, that's correct.
So maintaining a temperature 24/7 during the summer heat season is what you recommend.
Yes, I mean, obviously, if you don't want to spend as much money, turn it up a little bit. Turn it to 75, turn it to 76. You don't have to set it at 68, 69, 70.
Well, there's a consequence, too, if you try to get too far down on temperature, and that is you could freeze your unit up.
Yes, the unit needs time to defrost. So, again, and on these hot days when it's 90 degrees, do not set your air conditioner down to 65. If it runs continually, it is going to freeze up. And if it freezes up and you call someone like us, we can't come out until that system is thawed out.
Oh, wow.
There's nothing we can do until that system's thawed out.
Now, I have an auto setting and on setting. What do you recommend during the heat of the AC season?
Just on. Just
leave it
just,
on
just
or not
leave it
on
on.
auto?
Not even a program. Just I'm a big fan of hold.
Okay.
Like I said, find that temperature you like. If you want to do setback, I wouldn't, maybe you like to sleep colder at night. Maybe 2 degrees.
Well,
Maybe
I
3.
didn't mean so much setback as I meant the fan cycles on and off based on reaching temperature. So if it's oscillating, on getting the temperature, should I leave it on auto or leave it on?
We always recommend leaving the fan on.
On.
Yes,
Okay.
100%. It's going to circulate the air through the home. It's going to help you maintain the same temperature from room to room in your house. That's what the manufacturer recommends too. It keeps that fan on your furnace or air handler from the on off. It's like your car. It's running at a lower speed, and it'll prolong the life of the fan.
Now I live with a precarious situation in that my system, my AC air handler and ductwork runs through my attic. I have radiant heat for the house, so I don't have a ductwork system. It was installed through my attic, and I have to rely on God's good graces to not have issues with flooding based on the condensate pump.
Yep.
And that's a delicate situation for me. When a unit's sitting in the basement, part of the furnace, then obviously that's a non-issue for concerns about damaging ceilings.
Yes, that's correct. Unless your basement has like a finished basement on the other side of it. But yeah, in your situation, mine too. I have an air handler in the attic. Same thing. I have a boiler system in my home. The unit sits on a drain pan, and it has a wet switch in there. So if it detects any condensation, it shuts the unit off immediately.
All right. Matthew Schultz from TRS, Heating and Air Conditioning and Electrical. They are our go-to guys for anything to do with HVAC. Pick up the phone right now and take advantage of having Matt in studio at 803-0930 in the 716. Outside Buffalo, 1-800-616-WBEN. And the Volkswagen of one more time. The Volkswagen of Orchard Park Text Board, open and operating at same as our call-in number, 716-803-0930. Good morning from Dominic Cortez. And before you pick up the hammer, before you pick up the drill, pick up the phone and give me a call. I'd love to talk to you. Before we talk to you, though, we're going to travel to Depew and say good morning to Anthony Verhagen, the manager of the Depew branch of Lakeshore Savings Bank. Good morning, Anthony.
Good morning, Dominic. How are you today?
Good, good. Some of our listeners are probably doing their banking with companies from outside of Western New York. Tell us, Anthony, what are the benefits of banking at a locally operated community bank?
So, first, a locally operated bank understands the unique needs of Western New Yorkers. So Lakeshore Savings Bank has been serving this region for 134 years, and we understand the needs of all of our customers better than anyone. Also, we have the flexibility and expertise to develop quick, customized solutions. All of our lending decisions are made right here in Western New York. And Lakeshore Savings Bank is committed to the economic health of this region by keeping deposits and loans right here in Western New York. The people that work here at Lakeshore Savings Bank are your friends and your neighbors. We shop in local stores and help drive the local economy.
Makes a lot of sense, Anthony, and it sounds like now is a good time to consider switching to Lakeshore Savings Bank. I know that from our personal experience at Cortez Construction, Lakeshore has been there for us, offering great personalized customer service. The bank's products and services are really customized to fit our needs.
That's right. The banking market rate might be changing, but we've been operating right here in Western New York since 1891. If you're looking for a bank that has had a long-standing presence and reputation in the community, why not take a look at Lakeshore Savings Bank?
Exactly. Why not? It is the right time. And thank you, Anthony. Tell people your phone number, please.
Absolutely. So it's 716-898-2022. Once again, that's 716-898-2022. And I'm actually here until 12 p.m. today.
All right. Lakeshore Savings Bank. Putting people first since 1891.
Come and meet me down by the shore, Lakeshore.
Looking to bring the gym to your home? G&G Fitness Equipment has everything you need to build the ultimate home workout space. With premium treadmills and bikes to top quality strength equipment and saunas, G&G offers top brands like Inspire, Light Fitness, Matrix, Croc Fitness, and more.
Should talk
Plus,
about
enjoy
the
financing
gas.
options with zero down and
Is it more
0%
available
interest.
now?
Visit us
The,
at Williamsville
pre-on
and Orchard
replacement?
Park or online at ggfitness.com.
Propane-based
Let us help
refrigerant?
you build your
Yeah, is that what it is?
Yeah. For the
Summer in Western New York. We
So,
wait for it all year and live for
some
every
use,
sunny minute.
454.
Dominic Cortez here.
It's a
Make sure
nationwide
your home
shortage.
stays comfortable
When we first
all
started,
season
a
long
jug of
with a $99 health and
454
safety
was
checkup from
480
TRS Heating and Air
bucks.
Conditioning.
It's now
Need an
900.
upgrade? TRS
We
can
couldn't get
recommend
it.
a high-efficiency
One of our
breeze
distributors
system
called and said,
to
"Hey, I
keep
got
you
3
cool
jugs.
with
I'll
the
give you
heat
one.
with
It's
flexible
$900."
financing to fit your budget. Visit
Nationwide
TRS Heating
shortage.
and Air
We're hearing in
Conditioning.com for
Arizona,
details.
places out
TRS
west,
Heating,
that they're
Air
not even
Conditioning,
doing
and
work
electrical
because they
excellence.
can't.
Powering tomorrow.
How long will
Comforting
that
today.
last you that job?
Why is the Gorilla Floor the best
So it
resinous floor
depends
coating
on
on the
how what
market?
they're doing. The
Simple. We're the
manufacturers
only
have
company
decided
bold
to,
enough to guarantee protection against the number one cause of garage
add
floor
a-
failure, moisture. Every
what
Gorilla
are
floor
they
includes a
doing? They're
vapor
adding more
barrier
refrigerant
and
to the air
no
conditioner,
extra
so
cost.
it's
No shortcut
filled
when
to
it comes
a
to
30-foot
long-term
line set, where
protection.
it's typically
Protect
filled
your
to a
garage
15-foot
with a
line
Gorilla
set.
floor
So the
and say
manufacturers have
goodbye to
enough.
peeling and
But
failure.
us,
And for Hammer Time
contractors
listeners,
don't have
take
any.
10%
So they're
off
gonna put
any
more in the
garage
unit,
floor
so
installation
you don't have
400
to add
square
any
feet or
if you
more.
want really long
Just
line
in
set.
time for summer.
So the problem
Live,
is,
local,
if we do our due
Buffalo.
diligence,
All
we have
day
to take
long.
and say it's a short
News
line, so we
Radio
got to take it out. We're going to have to
930
reclaim it.
WBEN.
Ten 10:20 is Hammer Time. Good morning. It's Dominic and my guest Matt Schultz from TRS Heating and Air Conditioning. We're talking about your AC system. Hey, I've got some spots available still for the July 7th pizza workshop, as well as the July 21st. It's repeated. 2 pizza workshops coming, July 7, July 21. Check it out at Cortez.net. Drop down menu. Come home to Cortez Cooking School. Check out everything we do at Cortez Construction, including our room additions, our kitchen and bath renovations, our beautiful Bella Cucina custom kitchen cabinet line, Better Living sunrooms, solar shades, retractable awnings, and there's the TMP of Buffalo dealership as well, where we bore the metal corkscrews in the ground to replace concrete foundations. It's all at Cortez.net, or stop in and see us at 9074 Main Street in Clarence. We'd love to have you come by and take a tour of our wonderful showroom and take advantage of our cooking school. Again, July 7th, Pizza Workshop, July 21, August 11th, Fruta de Mare. That's going to be a popular one. August 18th, Summer Antipasto. These are the upcoming classes. You can always give the gift of a class, too. All this is available at Cortez.net. Check it out. Drop-down menu. Come home to Cortez Cooking School. And we'd love to have you be a part of it. 803-0930 is the number to call this Saturday morning here on WBN. We're talking about your AEC system and how to be on top of it to prevent issues. During the running time, Matthew, if everything is going well and it's working and meeting temperature, what else should we be concerned about?
Nothing really. I mean, there's not much. If your air conditioner's running, I mean, maybe take a listen for it. Make sure you go outside and make sure it's not making any strange noises, loud noises. But
good point, because that's exactly what was happening to us. We heard a funny noise, and I told my wife it's probably the condensate pump because it was intermittent. It wasn't consistent. Mm-hmm. And your technician came out and said, yeah, there was a kink in the condensate drain line.
Yep. That'll happen. The tubing you run for it is just a cheap vinyl tubing that over time, especially if it's in an attic, getting hot temperatures, cold temperatures, it affects that vinyl tubing, and we've seen it fold on itself. We've seen it kink. We've seen it almost disintegrate.
Mm-hmm. When you charge your system, and let's say it's working properly, it's been charged, it's got the refrigerant in it. Mm-hmm. Is that refrigerant permanent, or can it leak out?
It can leak out, yes. If it leaks out, then we have to make a repair. It's kind of like having a leaky tire. If you have a guy who'll come over and say, "Oh, I'll just pump you up with refrigerant and get you back up and going," well, that's not fixing the problem. If you have a refrigerant leak or you're low on refrigerant, there is something wrong with the system. You have a leak in the evaporator coil, a leak in the condenser coil, and at that point, what we do is we put dye in the system and see if we could find that leak.
Now, the problem with that is recharging, once the leak's been fixed, mm-hmm. recharging it is an issue.
Recharging it is an issue? I mean,
as far as the gas that you're using, the refrigerant.
Today's refrigerant. So
yeah.
Right now, currently, yes. So the new refrigerant that came out, A2L refrigerant, there's a couple different ones. The two main ones are R32 and R454. R54 has a nationwide shortage already. We've just started installing these units after January 1st, and there's already a shortage. So the manufacturers are overfilling the units, so we don't have to add as much to them. But to actually get your hands on a jug of refrigerant is almost downright impossible.
What do you put the reason for the shortage?
Too quick of a changeover. When the government made us change from R22 to 410A, it was a 15-year changeover. This one was a year. Manufacturers can't keep up with that. They're already talking about now, 2 to 3 years from now, changing the refrigerant again to fix this problem we have right now of the shortage.
So that leads to increased cost, I would guess.
Yes. I mean, our costs went up probably 20 to 30% on an air conditioner in 6 months.
When we talk about the comparison of in the AC season, a heat pump to a conventional condenser, do we see disparities there too in terms of functionality?
What do you mean by disparities?
Well, do they perform as well? I think they probably perform better as an air conditioner than a heating plant, correct?
Yes. Yeah, they perform. So it'll be, depending on what you buy, you could have a 2-stage or a modulating air conditioner. So it only uses what it needs to. It's not 100% on, 100% off. So yes, for air conditioning, it works very well. For heat, it costs you more to run than if you got, the right furnace in your home. Gas is still the most efficient.
So with you having brought that up, I guess we need to remind everybody that January 1 is right around the corner, and new homes will have to be 100% electric. And now the gas line infrastructure mandate has been removed. So it's up to a developer or builder to put the gas line down the street, whether the house is gas or electric. Having the infrastructure in place, I think, would probably make sense to me. But be that as it may, it's no longer mandated that new streets be developed with gas.
Yeah.
Where are we headed here in the power outage when a house is 100% electric and we have no backup?
It's all bad. I don't understand it. The grid can't handle if we went to all electric. 100% it can't handle it. If you have no backup heat, what are you going to do? If it's just all electric, what is a customer to do? That means no gas fireplace, right? There's no backup fireplace. You know, a lot of people have built a house now with a fireplace. It'd be electric, so that wouldn't work either. So what is a customer to do if there's a power outage for 2-3 days in the wintertime? No heat.
I think we're also being misled as to functionality and operating costs, because electricity being more expensive to consume than gas, and reliability in that there's temperature sensitivities with heat pumps that don't exist with furnaces.
Yes, depending on how you're going to heat your home, whether it be a heat pump or maybe an air handler with a backup electric coil, it's going to be more expensive than natural gas. It doesn't heat the same way. You know, if you do have an electric heat coil, that's another thing. You're not setting that heat back. It's going to take too long to overcome. It's very expensive to run, and it's more expensive to install. You're going to have to upgrade your service on your home. You know, so if you're building a new home, the cost to put an all-electric system in your house, what's it going to be? $20,000 more than what we're doing today.
And increase amperages as well.
Yeah, and usage, your electric bills. I mean, what we see now, we have customers who have gone to an all heat pump system and then call back a year later and complain that they're not saving any money, that they spent all this money to upgrade their system, yet they're not getting it back in their utility bills.
Yeah, and yet there's so many ironies that are just, you know, kind of being made part of this discussion, and one of them, the biggest one, is 45% of electricity is generated by natural gas.
Yes.
So, and yet we hear about the proposal by the governor to build a nuclear plant. You know, what happened to the hazards of nuclear waste? How come that's not even a part of the discussion anymore? So now nuclear is going to be brought into the forefront, possibly as an energy generator. Gas, coal, nuclear, and then the unreliable renewables. The renewables, which are great, right? Everybody likes the idea of wind and sun to help us power. But yet the reliability factor is a contributor to that being not a good direction.
Yeah, I know. It's scary what's coming down the pipeline. We do a lot of new construction. And hearing that this year when that bill passed, scared for homeowners, scared for new homeowners. I'm scared for us. Is building going to go down because of the cost of the home is going to go up? You know, we struggle now with interest rates, and we don't sell homes, but the builders struggle selling houses. It's just going to get worse.
Yeah, I mean, we got the increased cost of the construction based on 100% electric, with attributing factors being the electrical service. The fact that you probably need 2 heat pumps. So basically you have 2 heating systems in your house, because they're not going to be 50% of the cost of a furnace, correct? They're basically 100%.
Yes.
So it's double that cost.
Yep.
And then you got all the other factors of no backup and no system to be there for you in a power outage.
Yep.
803-0930, that's the number to call or text as we enjoy our conversation with Matt Schultz from TRS Heating and Air Conditioning. We're talking about AC, but if you have a general question or anything around the house that needs my attention, pick up the phone and give us a call at 803-0930. It is coming up to the bottom of the hour. That means it's time for the top of the news. We're back with more right after this. How do you keep your pipes from freezing with all electric and no gas backup?
Deliver the eulogy at today's funeral for former State House Speaker Melissa Hortman and her husband. They were shot and killed at their home 2 weeks ago. Former President Biden and former Vice President Harris are expected to attend the private funeral. The Hortmans lied in state in the Capitol Rotunda Friday, so people like Maggie Baker could pay tribute.
I'm horrified by what happened. I had to bear witness.
It's part of the problem with,
Pay my respects. I had to.
well, you mentioned running your air conditioner in the spring.
I don't know. I just felt
You
completely
can't charge a system
A
if
Senate
the
expected to
temperature
hold a
is below
procedural
a
vote
certain
today on the
temperature,
Republican
right?
spending
You
bill
can,
that
you gotta do a
President
week,
Trump
like,
wants to
you
sign
gotta
into
put a
law
blanket
by
around
July
the system.
4th.
It takes a lot
The
more work, so
President
we
hailed
recommend
Friday's
55
Supreme Court
degrees.
decision limiting the power of federal judges
we've
to
done it in a
block
pinch.
executive orders
You know,
that allows him to proceed
we
with plans
have a
to
lot
end
of maintenance
birthright
coming up,
citizenship.
and you get like a,
And almost 400
you know, it's
flights
warm,
into
so
and
we
out of
book
Atlanta have been
maintenances.
canceled today.
And then all
This
of a
is
sudden you get a
ABC
little bit of a
News.
cold spell. So we can do it. It just takes more work for us. So yes, 55 degrees.
So we should talk about that too, which is another reason to think ahead about your system, because if you have to have repairs, obviously it's sensitive to when, you know, the temperature, what the temperature is to what you'll be able to do, right?
Careful consideration, hours of thoughtful debate, and heartfelt conversations with his wife, family, friends,
And
and
availability
supporters.
of parts.
He made what he called the incredibly
Let's be honest,
difficult decision to suspend his campaign.
You wait
for
until
mayor.
a
He
week
finished
like
second to
this,
Senator
and we
Sean
come out
Ryan
and we
in
diagnose
Tuesday's
it, and
primary.
you have a
The
10-year-old air
Tonawanda
conditioner,
and
but I
the
can't get
town
that
of
part for
Tonawanda
2
Police
weeks.
Club say they have reached a
So I got
comprehensive
there.
agreement.
You
The
know, you're
results
one of the
raise
lucky ones.
differences.
You're a maintenance
Some
customer
police
with us.
officers
You know,
were
so we
disciplined
take care of you.
following
We
the
show
terror
up.
law
But,
for an alleged strike by not writing
no one
tickets
has
this
your
past
car.
winter.
Right.
They're not contesting
Then what?
any of the
Then what?
charges that we brought against them. So they did what they did. I've been saying that since day one. You know, it's time to move on.
Supervisor Joe Eminger says the two sides are now working together to resolve their differences and build a stronger relationship. The ride for Roswell taking place this morning and afternoon. Amherst police say there will be road restrictions near UB North as riders take part. This event raises millions for Roswell Park Comprehensive Cancer Center and is in its 30th year. From the WBEN Paul Davis Restoration Newsroom, I'm Tom Puckett.
This is Hammer Time Radio, brought to you by Lakeshore Savings Bank, putting people first since 1891.
Well, we're at the beginning of summer, and it's certainly been hot and sticky, and your AC is running, right? And we're talking about that today with Matt Schultz. It feels great, right? Well, not always. Many people can get sick, headaches, allergy symptoms when their AC is running. Does air conditioning itself make you sick? Well, maybe. Here's why. You're most likely breathing the same dust, dead skin cells, and decaying animal remains, dust mite feces, and who knows what else that is circulating in your air throughout your duct system. Maybe this is what's making you feel terrible. Well, some people think it's the cool air itself. However, it's all of that stuff that I just mentioned loaded in your ductwork. Now you're showering all of that unhealthy gunk with moisture that's created from your AC system. That, my friends, is the perfect formula to make mold biofilm, as it's known in the industry. Looking at Google reviews, you can see that Valerie writes and how she's got off of using her albuterol after her ducts were cleaned for her asthma. Folks, don't delay any further. Like Valerie did before she finally got her ducts cleaned and now saves money on her medication, so many indoor professional customers get an immediate return on their investment as they can cut out doctor visits and medication, which aren't that usually unusually good for you anyways, right? Peter Gordon from Indoor Professionals joins me on the live line. Good morning, Mr. Gordon.
Good morning, Dominic. Yeah, that's a great testimony, and we hear a lot of this from the health aspect. Probably 95% of our customers that have issues like that, and some worse, you know, the people, we got the ride for Roswell going on today, and, you know, so many people have compromised immune systems because they're battling cancer and chemo and all that stuff. And when you do a thorough duct cleaning and perhaps add in a medical grade air purifier, it just makes all the difference in the world. On that note, what about those medical grade?
The medical grade air purifier is a game changer for the Cortez household. Diane loves it, and it gives us a little white noise too to help you sleep a little bit better. And let's not forget, Peter, the awesomeness of the April Air high capacity DHU, 5 times more powerful than the Chinese throwaway units, and they'll be the last dehumidifier you'll need Peter, what are the extra special Hammer Time discounts for the last weekend of June?
Okay, so you can save, if you're a first-time customer, $175 off your duct cleaning. If you're a repeater, there's 65,000 of them out there in the sound of my voice. You may get a little bit better than that depending on the size of your house, because you have a postcard that we mailed. You get $400 off the April Air High Capacity Dehumidifier, $400 off the portable medical grade air purifier that's 40 times more efficient than the HEPA filter. So just for an estimate for duct cleaning, it'll only take 5 minutes out of your busy schedule. Give me a shout today.
Okay, call Peter right now. Here's the number, 716-683-3000. Extension 303 will bring you right to Peter's desk. That's 716-683-3000. Extension 303. He'll educate you on how to improve your IAP and indoor air quality like no one else. Got IAP? Get it today.
Looking for the perfect window treatments? At Budget Blinds of Williamsville, we're locally owned and bring the showroom to you with a free in-home consultation. From shades and blinds to draperies, shutters, and Roman shades, we offer a wide range of options, working with top vendors like Hunter Douglas. Plus, with our 5-year, no questions asked warranty, you can trust us for the long haul. Visit us at 8050 Worley Drive or call today. With over 500 5-star Google reviews, we pride ourselves on exceptional service. Budget Blinds of Williamsville. Quality, service, and value in every window.
Hi, it's Susan Rose. If a kitchen or bath
find less
remodel is
questions
on
and
your
calls in
mind,
the
now's the
summertime?
time to act. Kitchen
find
and
less,
Bath
like,
Unlimited is
people
offering
calling
Kevlar Echo
less
cabinets
questions in the
with all
summertime?
wood
Weather.
box construction, plus an extra
The weather's
20%
good.
off, saving you up to 30% in total
they're
value.
outside,
Their
they're
designers
happy for
are amazing.
camping
I
or
worked with
whatever.
them nearly
Usually,
20
though,
years
the
ago,
text
and my
board
cabinets
takes
are
off when
still
the
in
calls
excellent condition.
drop.
Visit
We usually
Kitchen
have more
and Bath
text.
Unlimited showroom on Union near Walden and
I
Cheektowaga.
thought today was going to be hot for people having AC
Online at
issues.
kitchenandbathunlimited.net.
Maybe we fixed them all.
Hi, it's Dominic Cortez. Whenever
got a
someone
lot of
asks me,
calls.
what do you call for roof repair or replacement? I say call Ava Roofing and Siding. They install over 1.5 million square feet of shingles and siding annually across Western New
hands
York.
on deck
When you call
this week.
Ava, you get superior
but-
service,
yeah.
including
Last
expert
week.
foreman on every job.
Anyone who
Get an
could,
on-the-spot,
you know,
free written estimate and
diagnose
project
something,
drawing
pull
for
them
your
off
roof
jobs,
replacement or
where you're going
repair
with this when you
by
gotta go out
calling
here.
343-ROOF or go to
How has it been
avaroofing.com.
for Newark?
Ava also offers
Newark?
0%
It's picked up
financing.
now.
When
The weather,
quality
as soon as it
matters,
got hot,
call Ava
we're getting a
Roofing.
lot of
Don't
big
just think
jobs.
it. Say
You know,
it.
customers who have
Call
money.
or text
I mean,
WBEN now
what are we
at
doing next year? Guys spend $25,000 on air conditioning.
716-803-0930.
Big house, he doesn't have it now. Air handler in the attic, air handler in the basement. People who have money are spending it.
10:38 is Hammer Time. Good morning, it's Dominic, and how are you? Matt Schultz from TRS is here. We're talking about your AC system, what you need to do to keep it humming and working when you need it, and of course, a lot of it is thinking about it off season, having that preventative maintenance done. When do you recommend, Matthew, to have the preventative maintenance done?
Late April, early May. We're looking to have about 55 degrees outside, so we can put our gauges on and get the correct pressures from the refrigerant.
Another thing to talk about is the functionality of your AC. When your ductwork runs through your basement, you have to think about the humidity level in your basement as to whether it's going to create any issues down there with condensation.
That's correct. We always recommend that you put a dehumidifier in your basement. I don't recommend a Home Depot $250 special. You know, you got to get something that's like a true 50 pints, true 80 pints. You know, spend $1,000.
The April Air.
Get an April Air.
Yeah,
Yep,
Peter's
that's what-
April Air is
Yeah,
the way to
get an
go.
April Air dehumidifier. Set it up in that basement. It'll also help you cool. It'll help you dehumidify.
That's right.
It doesn't just it's only gonna work for the basement. It's gonna draw
That's
from
right.
the house too.
Yeah, it's a whole house unit.
Yep.
It's funny how well it does work. I never really thought that it would go to other levels of the house.
Yep.
You know, the basement doors closed, but enough of the in and out of that, and it does seem to impact the whole house.
It does.
Yeah.
We like I said, we recommend it every single house.
What when you talk about humidity, humidity is the biggest thing that you try to control in the air conditioning season, correct? It's not so much temperature,
No,
it's humidity.
It's all about humidity. I mean, you know, your house, if your air conditioner size right, your humidity in your house should be about 55%. Again, if you have an oversized air conditioner and it's on and off, you don't get the runtime out of it, you're going to have high humidity levels in the house. And no matter how low you put that temperature, you're going to be uncomfortable. And with high humidity comes mold, mildew. You know, we want to stay away from that.
How do you know? Well, you just mentioned short cycling or long cycling could be the indicator, correct? That you have the wrong size unit?
Yeah. In really hot weather, don't be surprised if that air conditioner runs for 45 minutes on an hour. That's okay. You use more energy on startup than you do than when it's just continually running.
Mm-hmm. And if you do have an improperly sized unit, what's the solution?
Replacement? You know, call us. I mean, you can't just show up to a house and say, oh, you got 2,000 square feet. Oh, that's a 3-ton unit. That is not how this industry works. There are too many factors that go into sizing.
You mentioned some of them.
Yep, yeah. So if you are calling to get a new AC quote, ask the guy if he's doing a manual J in your house. That's what we do.
Explain what that is.
So it's a calculation. There's about 20-something factors. The square footage of the house, the way it faces, windows, our value of the windows, our value of the doors, color of the roof, how many people live in the house. If you have, commercial grade stove, commercial grade refrigerator that's putting off heat, we put all this into a calculation and it tells us how much we need for heating and how much we need for cooling. And from those numbers, we go to the next closest unit based on how many BTUs it says we need.
So that's kind of a vital piece to the puzzle here is the sizing of the unit.
Yes, it is the most important thing. It's not about the brand of the unit, it's about the size and who's installing it.
When we talk about brand, just like furnaces, are they all generally manufactured by the same companies?
Yes. Most of the components come from China. There's only so many manufacturers of gas valves. There's only so many manufacturers of compressors. And then it's just assembled in, let's say Carrier's factory, Ream's factory, whoever. So there's not much difference between the units.
Now, you happen to be aligned with Ream.
Yes.
Explain how that is and why that is. And you like the product, obviously.
We've been a Ream dealer, I think, close to 30 years. It's a very good product. It's a quiet product. It's got a better outdoor shell on the air conditioner, on the furnace. It's insulated better than some of the other ones you see. So it's quality. We do offer lower brands, but with that, it's going to be a louder unit. I can't say that the more expensive brand like Ream is going to run longer, or last longer, but it's about comfort. It's about noise.
When we talk about moving away from gas, we worry about issues that occur when the power goes out, including in those, not to mention the lack of comfort, is the fact that you've got to deal with your house dropping in temperature in the middle of winter, perhaps. And what do you do to protect your assets, including your water lines?
I mean, maybe a solar power generator, but then I don't have much experience with solar power generators. We haven't installed one yet. But what if it's a very cloudy month? Is there enough energy stored to be able to run that generator to power your house? I don't know enough about those, but besides that, what are you going to do?
I don't know enough about it either. But do you think that a solar power generator would then have a battery component to it?
Unfortunately, that's a question for Jeff. And
yeah. I mean, it would make sense,
yes,
right?
Yeah.
The solar would be stored in the battery. That would be then another thing to have to contend with as far as recycling the lithium-ion batteries.
Yes. Yeah, and what's the price of that generator? Who can afford that? Is it $15,000? Is it $20,000? And that's just in case we lose power for multiple days at a time. We're
going to have to look into this component of the law that's been passed, and that is that the gas lines are no longer mandated to come down a street, that it's going to be up to the developer and the builder. I wonder how they're going to react to that in terms of the expense side of that, because now it's going to be on them and not national fuel.
Mm-hmm. Correct. So far, we've done 2 neighborhoods in Rochester that have no gas on the street, but propane is still allowed, so the builders decided to provide a propane tank in every house, so we converted.
I don't understand that. That makes no sense to me. What did they choose not to put the gas down the street, or was it not available?
The developer, we're doing the 8th phase of a neighborhood, and there was, in the very beginning, there was no gas ever ran. Why there was not, I don't know that answer. And the other one, they bought a piece of property, and I don't know if it was RG&E or if it was a developer who said, we're not doing it. I just was, they asked us, how are we going to heat the house? And that's all my job is.
Right. And so you came up with propane.
Yeah, it was, we gave them options on electric. And then I said we could always go propane. You could put propane tanks in the yard. And we convert the furnace, convert the fireplace, convert the hot water tank. And that's the way they decided to go.
And I don't know a lot about propane as far as how reliable and cost efficient it is. Does it compare? I thought it
Propane
was
is more expensive than
Yeah.
natural gas. It is just as efficient.
Okay.
It's just changing the orifices in the burners, and it just runs at a different pressure.
And then you've got something else to worry about, though, and that is to have tank filled.
To have the tank filled, yeah.
And, when we want to simplify our lives, we seem to be stepping in the direction of making them more complicated with this whole movement.
Yes, it's so expensive. It's gonna make us all poor. All the money you have to spend to go to all renewable energy is going to create more poor people. It doesn't make any sense to me.
I think, if I was to say, if anyone would listen to me, hello, is this thing on? Is anyone listening? I think what we need to do is just stop and pause and say, let's really look at the mechanics of this, because I don't think that's been done. It's a theoretical idea to green the state, which I think no one would argue with. But the machine to make that work is not in place. So how can we expect something to happen when we don't have the movement to make it happen?
They're trying to do too much too quick.
Yeah. All right, let's go to Buffalo and chat with Carol. Good morning, Carol. You're on WEN with Matt Schultz from TRS.
Good morning, Dominic. My problem is with the air conditioner.
Okay.
Normally, I've never called on a radio station, and I'm very, very nervous.
Oh, don't be.
But anyway...
You're just talking to friends here, Carol.
Okay. Back in 2022, I had a Goodman furnace installed during the snowstorm. It was a reputable dealer. That was back in 2022.
Okay.
Now, I have a Janitral air conditioner that's 25 years old.
Okay.
So meanwhile, with the Goodman furnace, the blower and motor is so intense, it's unbearable. I've had this for 3 years. I've had the owner down along with the serviceman, and it's a reputable company. And they did help me out during the snowstorm, which I did appreciate very, very much. But meanwhile, the problem is with this air conditioner. In the past, I did run the air conditioner with a Lennox furnace and a Rheem furnace. I never had any problems before, up until I had the Goodman furnace. And the motor and blower is very, very intense.
What do you mean by intense?
It feels like I have a 20-mile-an-hour wind coming in my house.
Okay, because of the noise?
Well, the noise, it is somewhat noisy. It's louder than the Lennox and the Rheem. It's tolerable, but the blower, the way it blows out the air, I have to have the registers turned off, and you barely would even know I have the registers turned off. The registers is turned off in the kitchen, the bathroom, and the bedroom, halfway, and you still would. The air flow is very, very, very intense and very, very cold. Now, the only thing that the owner suggested to me is for me to get a smartphone and regulate it by a smartphone.
Okay. Do you think she's got the wrong size unit?
I mean, even if the furnace was bigger than the last one and it's more capable of moving more air, you can turn down the fan speed. Carol, do you know if they adjusted fan speeds or when they came there multiple times?
They didn't do anything. They were down many, many times, and all I was told was that's the way this furnace works.
I mean, and I can't tell you it is a problem or isn't. I mean, you're not complaining. Like, the air conditioner works. It's cooling your home to the temperature you want. Yep.
It's running constantly, and then you try to bump it up, and then when it reaches that next level, I run it between 73 and 76.
How's it feel in the heating season when you have just the furnace running?
The furnace is fine, no problem.
Yeah, the furnace, when you run heat, it's at a lower fan speed. AC is at a higher fan speed. Obviously, I don't know what they have it set at. I don't know what size air conditioner you have. I don't know what size furnace you have. Your old furnace, you know, the first thing I think about is maybe your old one, the blower motor on your old furnace wasn't running to 100% capacity, meaning it was on its last leg and it wasn't as powerful. So now you have this new unit that you're just not used to. That happens a lot, you know, in our field with something like that. You take out an old
different
furnace,
noises.
different fan speeds. It might move more air now. Without, you know, there's not much we can diagnose over the phone.
But it's something that bothers you, right? It's like annoying enough. Yeah. Well, did you pay them for a service contract?
No, I didn't.
Okay, so then maybe give Matthew a call, and they'll come out and do a check on you for you.
Yep, 100%.
And then you can know for sure, you know, based on their knowledge. And I do recommend TRS over any other for dependability and reliability and honesty. They won't try to sell you something that you don't need.
No, Carol, we'll come over, we'll assess the situation, we'll take a look at everything, and let you know if there is a problem and give you your options.
Okay, what is your phone number?
It's 716-825-9911.
9911.
Yep.
Okay, very good then.
Okay, Carol.
I do appreciate your help.
Okay,
Thank you
dear.
very much.
Thanks for calling, and call again.
Take care.
Okay, bye-bye now. Carol's line now available, 803-0930. You having a similar AC issue or anything around the house that needs my attention? Matthew's only here till 11, and after the 11 o'clock news, it's open phone line, so get ready for that. 803-0930. This is Hammer Time Radio on WBEN.
Shop for home improvements? Well, you've come to the right place. Our sponsors have proudly earned the Hammer Time seal of approval by operating with honesty and integrity. So remember, to buy right the first time, buy from a Hammer Time partner.
Transform every room in your home with Hurdle Home Consignment. New items arriving daily, so you never know what you'll find. Get inspired by their beautifully staged showrooms on Hurdle Avenue in Buffalo and at Georgetown Plaza in Williamsville. Filled with affordable, fine furniture and unique home accents for bedrooms, living rooms, dining rooms, and more.
Different noises.
Love it.
Yeah.
And take it home today.
Somebody's calling about, I was going to ask you about AC, window AC unit. That's another whole animal right there. Yeah, they're not rechargeable.
This is Dominic Cortez here to remind you that Herb Company is your trusted source for top quality contractor installed products. From tankless hot water heaters to energy efficient boilers and radiant heating systems, Herb has what you need to stay ahead of the curve. With building code changes coming next year, costs are likely to rise. So now's the time to lock in savings.
Of course, I have basement windows, so I could, we actually looked at, like, what do we do here to get ourselves into AC before I was able to have the system put in. And, they don't make a unit for basement windows.
You gotta put a portable one in, put a piece of wood in.
We tried that, and that was annoying as hell.
Yes.
And it didn't really work.
It's loud, it doesn't feel as comfortable.
It would bring the temperature down a little, but
it doesn't, it's not the same.
Yeah.
Durable, low maintenance, and beautiful.
I couldn't wait to get rid
Easy,
of those.
affordable building material solutions.
Mini split. You know, if it's something like that.
I thought about that.
Just one room or one portion.
Nobody saying what do you want, the unit on the wall. And
Yeah, we hear that a lot too. I want to see that.
Keeps hot air out and cool air in, so your home stays comfortable and energy efficient. Right now, qualifying New York homeowners can get up to 80% of the cost covered with state and federal incentives. They even offer spray
What does
foam
this
for
mean?
businesses. Call 716-431-4500
Did he send you a
or go
picture?
to
Did he try to send a picture over the text
usaiinstallation.com.
line? Because I was talking about freezing up. So send you a picture.
But they, look at
News Radio 930 AM
Came twice.
WBEN.
That's all I could think of.
10:55 is Hammer Time. It's Dominic Cortez and Matt Schultz is here from TRS. And we're talking about AC and, of course, anything around the house, as Matthew's only here till 11. And then open phone lines at the 11 o'clock hour, anything around the house that needs my attention this Saturday morning here on WBEN, 803-0930, outside Buffalo, 1-800-616-WBEN, and the Volkswagen of Orchard Park Tax Board, 803-0930 as we go to Westfield and say good morning to John. Good morning, John. You're next.
Good morning, guys. How you doing?
Good.
I have a question. I recently replaced 2 window air conditioners. One's a rather large one, one's a bedroom one.
Mm-hmm.
And the older air conditioners that I replaced had the condensate drains coming out the bottom.
Okay.
And they would drain on the ground or whatever. But these new ones are sealed. There's actually a plug where you could take the plug out and the condensate would run out. And I'm just wondering if it makes more sense to let the condensate stay in there, and I guess it just sloshes around and cools the coil or whatever, but or I should just leave them alone.
Did you refer to the manual? I know they're all different. I mean, we don't get into window air conditioners a lot. It's just they're kind of throwaway units. But I obviously refer to the manual. I think the new ones are designed to evaporate because I see it more and more on houses. There is no drain line. But again, the best thing you do is just refer to the manual on that.
Mm-hmm.
Okay.
So with that said, thanks for the call, John. With that said, when you talk about window units, you mentioned they're throwaway. There's a totally different technology, right? Or is it the same technology simplified for window installation?
Exactly, same technology, just simplified, and it's not the same. The units are loud. They're very inefficient. It does not feel the same. It's just cheaper. And,
yeah.
You know.
Well, in cases, again, like in my scenario, and in yours, right, with radiant heat, it may be a good solution to just chill a bedroom,
Mm-hmm.
bring a bedroom down to comfort level. Obviously, putting them in every window in the house would probably not make sense.
No.
They're ugly to look at,
Yep.
and and I wonder what the cost spread would be between that and considering a whole system.
Yeah, and not only you got to carry it out of your basement every year, and you could drop it out of the window when you're putting it in. Who knows what could happen? But yes, you can. There's so many options you could do nowadays if you're willing to spend the money. Mini split units, air handler in your attic, air handler in the basement. So you have options. It's just how much do you want to spend for comfort?
Yeah, and obviously comfort's important, but also the look and functionality is important too.
Yes. Yeah.
The idea of condensate, now, it has to drain off. Why would you think it be sealed?
I don't know. Maybe just to not have that, that unit hanging out your window and have that puddle on your patio or something like that. I don't, again, we don't get into the window air conditioners much.
Yeah, I just wonder where it would go if it didn't drain out. Anyway, all right, a texter's writing, one of my window air conditioners is 20 years old. Well, that's quite remarkable.
Yeah.
3-ton air conditioner for 1,200 square foot house. Company changed it up from the new 2-ton because it was not working to cool the house. And we have one huge room and always had a 3-ton. They also lowered the fan speed to cool better, but it won't reach temperature on really hot days. Set to 73, gets to 74 or 5, runs all day.
So he's saying they changed it. His old air conditioner was 3-ton. They put in a 2-ton, and now he's not getting down to the temperature he likes.
Sounds like it.
Multiple factors. Is it charged right? Is the AC charged right? Is did you put a new air conditioner on old furnace? Is your fan operating on your furnace properly? Is your filter clean? It's tough to say. Now, when you're only, it says set to 73, 74, what was the temperature outside?
Yeah.
Was it that 90-degree day?
I mean, that's almost acceptable, right?
That's
if it's
acceptable.
getting to 74 and it's set at 73.
Yeah, 100%. Yeah, again, high end, you're trying to get 20-degree difference from outside to inside, and that's high end.
Mm-hmm.
So, what's the humidity level now? So, without, again, going there and seeing what's going on, 2-ton might be all right. It might just be some other factors going on.
All right. Well, Matthew, thank you for spending the hour with us. We always look forward to having you on.
Thanks for having me.
Okay. Have a great week, everybody. We'll be back with another hour right after the news.
WBEN Buffalo, WKSE HD3 Niagara Falls.
Yeah, no problem. She told me this was a phone call, so
for you, that's the way they've got it established for all the sponsors. But for you, I'm always finding
Well, I'll just message you, and then I'll call you, and we'll figure it out from there. Because Sue was dealing with Stephanie, and I was just kind of confused. What were we going to talk about for 6 minutes?
I mean, that's how the deal was written. Yeah, but obviously I break that mold for you.
Thanks, appreciate that. Yeah. And then, as far as the electrical stuff from your house,
Yeah.
do you want to contact? How do you want to go?
Yeah, so just call me on Monday if you have time, and we'll set up a date for you to come in. Just get to the brass tacks of how do we make this work for the electrical department.
Do you have electrical work for us right now?
Yeah. I could keep Barry Doug's busy full time.
Really?
I'm actually looking to buy an electrician electrical company myself.
And according to the Congressional
because
Budget
we've
Office,
got
has
so
cuts to Medicaid that
I guess I
lead
think
to an
the only
estimated
problem
11
we had
million
was
people
when they were talking
losing
about
their
what if it's
insurance
just
over the
one
next
switch,
decade,
one plug?
and
You know, what do we do?
increases
These are
the deficit
bathrooms
by an
and kitchens.
estimated $2.8
In addition.
trillion.
Yeah.
And even though Republicans have
no, it's-
3 votes
it's
Senate
remodeling.
majority,
So I know
this
you
is far from a
sent
slam
us a
dunk.
spreadsheet
Some
of how you
Republicans
pay
are
for each
frustrated
thing.
by the bill's
Is
price
it
tag.
just
Others want to see
easier?
the full final
Well, I
text
know
of the
we
bill
have
before
gone out and
committing
seen
to
some
it,
of the
as
jobs.
there are
It's easier
still
to
some
go see every
outstanding
single job,
issues.
but that's just not how it works.
So that's probably the best thing. Well, to be fair about that, we don't require that you go out on every job, because sometimes they're pretty simple. But more complicated jobs, we go do a walkthrough with all the mechanicals.
Because I wouldn't be opposed to even the small ones, just sending Barry, sending Todd out, and just saying, this is what we need, whether it's moving four plugs, this is what we need for material, so we can get you that accurate price, so we're not worried about it. I'm okay, we're always okay with spending an extra hour to make sure everything's
There you go, because then it goes fluidly when you're there, you're not wasting time in the field.
Yes, the plan with those two guys is eventually to have more, so they're the ones who go there, they did the estimate, they're in charge of other workers. So I'm fine with sending them out every single job.
Because he told me when he was here that he's not busy.
No, you're not. You're not.
So, I've been thinking about that, and I'm thinking, geez, we've got a way to
From the
make him busy.
WBEN Paul Davis Restoration
So, yeah,
Newsroom,
let's talk
I'm
Monday.
Tom Pickett. Here's what's happening.
We'll get it figured out
Acting
then.
Mayor Chris Scanlon is
All right, then I'll tell Diane not to pay that bill until,
Yeah, we'll come up with a plan where Jeff call you, because Harry took all the pictures, Harry saw everything, and we'll get an estimate put together and a plan put
Scanlon
together.
finished second to Sean
All right,
Ryan in the
Matthew.
primary
Thanks,
on
buddy.
Tuesday.
Seeing you.
Warwick County Democratic Chairman Jeremy Zellner, in a statement of his own, says he is grateful to Scanlon for the decision and for the leadership and dedication that has always defined Scanlon's service to the people of Buffalo. Scanlon took over as mayor when Byron Brown resigned to take over leadership at Batavia Downs. The town of Tonawanda and the town of Tonawanda Police Club say they have reached a comprehensive agreement that resolves recent differences. Some town of Tonawanda police officers were disciplined for violating the Taylor Law for an alleged strike by not writing tickets this past winter.
They're not contesting any of the charges that we brought against them. So they did what they did. I've been saying that since day one. It's time to move on.
Supervisor Joe Eminger says the town and police club are now committed to building together a strong relationship through further discussion and collaboration. A $50 million expansion coming to Shays Buffalo. More from WBEN's Evan DePasquale.
Expansion coming for Shays Buffalo as the 100-year-old theater looks towards the future.
It's the largest theater of its kind in all of New York State, including Broadway, and the people of Buffalo just love this venue. It's magical. Whether you're 8 or 80, people get in this space and they're transformed. And what we're trying to do is just make it a much more enjoyable experience by making the movement of our patrons safe, efficient, and enjoyable.
President and CEO of Shays Buffalo, Brian Higgins, said that the groundbreaking is expected to take place at the end of the year and should be completed in 2027.
The result is a facade that is both dynamic and elegant, transforming through integrated lighting and programmable digital signage that animates the building as it transforms from day to night. Theater is, after all, as Brian says, about night and light.
Broadway partner and Tony Award winner Albert Naciolino feels that the community has embraced Shays Buffalo.
It's become the cornerstone of downtown Buffalo, the anchor of the theater district, and a huge economic impact again, and a partner with all the other theater companies here in Buffalo. So, in the future, we need to ensure this legacy and make sure that generations to come can say, I'm going to Shays.
More is available online. Evan DePasquale, WBEN.com News.
The ride for Roswell is this morning. Andrea Gregory says this is a milestone year.
This year is year 30 for us. The event started back in 1996 with 1,000 riders raising $100,000, and this year We are closing in on our $6 million goal with over 7,000 riders.
Amherst police say there will be road restrictions, especially near the UB campus, as riders take part. From the WBEN Paul Davis Restoration Newsroom, I'm Tom Puckett.
Hear your favorite WBEN programming anytime. Download the free Odyssey app and favorite WBEN today.
Helping your inner circle prepare for emergencies can start in many ways. Put together an emergency kit with Whitewall. Create a family communication plan with your tita. Remind Vi to keep a backup battery charged. It all starts with a simple step, telling those you care about to be ready for the worst. So start a conversation and plan for emergencies together. Get more tips at ready.gov/start. Brought to you by FEMA and the Ad Council.
Stay tuned right after Hammer Time for Senior Radio Buffalo, hosted by Linda Pellegrino. Senior Radio is dedicated to informing and educating baby boomers and active seniors all over Western New York. Coming up at noon.
The WBEN First Alert forecast calls for a partly sunny and breezy day, the high 81. Clear down to 59 overnight. Less humid on your Sunday, the high 82 degrees with plenty of sunshine. Warm and humid on Monday. We will have an afternoon thunderstorm that could contain gusty winds, the high 86. A few thunderstorms early Tuesday, not as warm, the high 76. Partly sunny with a shower around on your Wednesday with a high of 79. With the WBEN First Alert forecast, I'm meteorologist Chad Merrill.
Thanks, Chad. Right now, mostly cloudy skies, 75 degrees in Buffalo.
Leaking roof? Need new windows? Looking to remodel your kitchen or bath? You've come to the right place and the right time. Broadcasting on News Radio 930 WBEN since 1989, this is Hammer Time Radio. Now, your host, your man for home improvements, Dominic Cortez. Brought to you by Lakeshore Savings Bank, putting people first since 1891.
And hour number 2 of Hammer Time Radio for the last weekend of June. Anything that needs my attention, as we have open phone lines for you this hour here on WBEN. Pick up the phone and give me a call. What broke this week? 803-0930 in the 716. Outside Buffalo, 1-800-616-WBEN. And the Volkswagen of Orchard Park text board. Same as our call-in number, 716-803-0930. My thanks to Matt Schultz from TRS, always a treasure trove of valued information from him and his people. And we appreciate him spending the hour with us. I do want to reiterate one thing that you can do to increase the efficiency and also the functionality and lifespan of your AC condenser, and that is cleaning the cottonwood off of it. This is a huge issue that could drastically impact its functionality by creating restricted airflow. The fluffy cottonwood can create a layer as it attracted and sucked into the unit on the condenser coils and prevent the proper airflow through the fins. Now this will inhibit the AC's ability to release the heat effectively and forcing the system to work harder to cool your home, resulting in reduced efficiency as well as higher electrical bills. When the airflow is restricted, your AC unit will become less efficient at transferring the heat. This means longer run times, higher energy consumption, and of course higher electrical bills. Overheating can result as well. The restricted airflow and reduced heat transfer can lead to the unit's overheating. This can cause various components to fail, including the compressor, potentially leading to costly repairs or maybe even a replacement. It certainly also has an impact on the unit's lifespan. Continuous operation under increased stress can cause the unit to wear and tear and break down sooner. Not to mention the fact that It'll affect also affecting the outdoor unit is restricted airflow caused by the cottonwood can impact your indoor air quality and worsen allergy symptoms if the system is pushing around airborne particles. Now, what to do? Well, check it out. Get your eyes on it. Take a good look at the unit. Do you see a lot of buildup? Well, gently cleaning it is the answer. If you notice the buildup, turn the unit off and gently rinse the coils with a garden hose. Gently rinse the coils, not high pressure. Spray from the top to the bottom at a slight angle to help loosen and flush out the fluff without damaging the delicate fins. Definitely do not use a pressure washer. And as I've said, if you're intimidated by this, then give TRS a call. They'll come over and do it for you. And if you have a lot of cottonwood, think ahead and maybe put extra screening around the unit to help minimize the issue from being an ongoing one, and even something that you could remove and clean as an add-on to the outside of the unit just to protect it from cottonwood. And this year was horrible, and it seems that every year it gets worse as far as cottonwood goes. And in my case, I don't even know where the trees are, but it was like it was snowing throughout our neighborhood. So yeah, cottonwood, the nemesis of an AC condenser. 803-0930 to South Buffalo we go. And Scott, good morning. You're on WBEN.
Yeah, good morning. Yeah, I had a problem with the cottonwoods about 4 or 5 years ago. I didn't realize that the whole system was clogged up. That's in the back of the house.
Right.
And the whole AC lines downstairs froze solid. And I ended up having to let it thaw for like 3 or 4 days before I could use the system again.
Now, were you able to save it? Was it repairable? Was it cleanable?
Yeah, definitely it was savable. But every year now, at least in the spring, a couple of times, I go out and I spray down the condenser.
There you go.
Outside.
There you go. So you kind of learned the hard way, right?
Yeah, but if I would have known, I would have done it. I didn't know. The company that installed it didn't say anything, and maybe didn't realize we'd have such a bad cottonwood problem behind my house.
Yeah. It's funny, as I just said, I don't even know where the trees are, but it was snowing in our neighborhood. And I don't see any cottonwood trees immediately around, at least our property. But be that as it may, it travels, and the wind takes it, and the AC condenser sucks it right towards it. So it's a ripe formula for disaster in that scenario. So you learned the hard way. So now you got into a habit, right? You got it on a schedule where you go out after cottonwood and you hose it down. Does that seem to be working for you?
Yeah, it does. I did it today, as a matter of fact, because I'm going to be traveling for a little bit. So it was clogged up again, so I cleared it out. And I'll keep doing it probably for another couple of weeks, every week or so.
So you still having cottonwood?
Yes, I did actually today, and I had hosed it off last week. So.
Well, gosh, I haven't seen any in a couple weeks. So where is it that you live?
It's South Buffalo, off South Park, closer to Botanical Gardens.
Okay, so there must be a lot of cottonwood trees around that neighborhood.
Yeah, we get quite a bit of cottonwood actually in that area, especially this time. Usually it's gone by now, but
yeah.
But this year, the spring, I think was a little late. So.
Well, there you go. Well, hey, Scott, I'm glad you've figured it out and you've got a formula that works for you.
All right, great. Thank you.
Thanks for the call. Scott's line now available, 803-0930 in the 716. Outside Buffalo, 1-800-616-WBEN, and the Volkswagen of Orchard Park Tax Board. Same as our call-in number, 716-803-0930. Anything around the house that needs my attention, as we have open phone lines this Saturday morning until noon. Linda Pellegrino steps in for another edition of Senior Radio here on WBEN. It's just like everything else, folks, when I talk about thinking ahead, preventative maintenance, thinking off-season, this goes into that category. Put this on your calendar to make a mental note. When the cottonwood starts to fly, you need to clean out the AC condenser. It's that simple. And it's not a hard thing to do. The hose will do it. It'll make a big difference as to how your unit operates and how well it operates and how long the unit will last. As I mentioned, the stress of the decreased airflow has a direct impact on the unit's efficiency and operation. So, anyway, I think we learn the hard way all the time, right? And this is a good example of that with your AC system. Preventative maintenance for anything around the house is always top of the list for awareness on how to make that system work as best as possible. To Tonawanda now we go. And Peter, good morning.
Good morning, sir. Hey, I have a 8,000 BTU portable accordion vented unit, AC unit. Last year, I don't think I had to drain the thing once. This year, it's running like a sieve, but it's working fine.
Is it a window unit?
It's a portable on wheels, and then you vent it with the accordion tube out the window.
And it has a tray that catches the water?
No, it's supposed to be automatic. It dries the water as it runs.
Really?
Yeah, I've had it for 3-4 seasons. Hardly ever had to drain it, and now, and the way I found out is the rug was wet. So I've since put the drain tubes, hooked them up, and put it out the window. But I'm curious why all of a sudden. I know it's been humid.
Yeah. So I'm wondering if there's something in that collection system that is failed, where it's allowing the water to leak out that was possibly supposed to go into the tray.
Yeah, I did take it apart and clean it real good gently, and everything looked in order. It baffles me.
So if you wanted to go into having it be captured in a tray, can you do that?
There is a slight tray, and for the top, it's kind of a dual unit where it's a humidifier and air conditioner.
Okay.
And the water was collecting and filling the top tray and draining into the bottom.
Interesting.
There's a drain port for the top of the unit and the bottom of the unit. I ran 2 tubes together with a T and ran it out the window, but it's draining crazy, and it never did before.
I'm perplexed as well. I think maybe checking the manual, maybe consulting with the manufacturer might be a good thing to do. It seems it's working well for you. Yeah.
Yep, it works real good.
Mm-hmm. And it's good that the water's draining out, which saves you from having to dump anything out too.
Correct.
Yeah.
I guess some of them, a little bit of water in the bag helps it run more efficient. But like I said, this was driving me batty.
Yeah.
With it.
Do you still have the manual?
I do.
Yeah, I would check that out, or maybe you can go online and research it. Maybe Google the scenario that you have for the unit and see if there's any answer you can get there. I think the answer I would probably think would be the best place to go would be the manufacturer.
Okay, thank you, sir.
Okay, hey, thanks for calling, Peter. Peter's line now available, 803-0930. When we come back, we're going to travel to Kenmore and talk to Larry and to you right after this.
Lakeshore Savings Bank believes in community banking with exceptional customer service and local expertise. Lakeshore Savings is here to help you with all your financial needs, from home financing to small business banking. Lakeshore Savings gives you access to local bankers who are dedicated to serving the community. Visit one of Lakeshore Savings Bank's 10 Western New York branches. Call 716-366-4070 or visit lakeshoresavings.com today. Lakeshore Savings Bank, putting people first since 1891.
Hi, it's Dominic Ortiz. Whenever someone asks me, who do you call for roof repair or replacement, I say call Ava Roofing and Siding. They install over 1.5 million square feet of shingles and siding annually across Western New York. When you call Ava, you get superior service, including expert foreman on every job. Get an on-the-spot free written estimate and project drawing for your roof replacement or repair by calling 343-ROOF or go to avaroofing.com. Ava also offers 0% financing. When quality matters, call Ava Roofing. Hi, this is Dominic Ortiz. My family-run business believes in supporting other family-run businesses like Buffalo Plumbing Showroom. With their long tradition of excellence, they offer top-quality plumbing and design solutions. From water-sense fixtures to luxurious steam rooms and the latest Kohler innovations, you can trust their expertise to deliver high-quality materials at great prices. Call one of their sales associates at 826-1400 and schedule a visit to the Kohler Registered Showroom located at 600 Bailey Avenue today. Hi, Dominic Ortiz here. If your home heats up fast in the summer or your AC is always running, USA Insulation can help. Their premium foam keeps hot air out and cool air in, so your home stays comfortable and energy efficient. Right now, qualifying New York homeowners can get up to 80% of the cost covered with state and federal incentives. They even offer spray foam for businesses. Call 716-431-4500 or go to usainsulation.com.
USA Insulation.
And tell them Dominic sent you. Why is the Gorilla Floor the best resinous floor coating on the market? Simple. We're the only company bold enough to guarantee protection against the #1 cause of garage floor failure, moisture. Every Gorilla Floor includes a vapor barrier and no extra cost. No shortcut when it comes to long-term protection. Protect your garage with a Gorilla Floor and say goodbye to peeling and failure. And for Hammer Time listeners, take 10% off any garage floor installation 400 square feet or more, just in time for summer.
Imagine a dust-free environment in your home or workplace. Sounds too good to be true. Well, it is. But there's a catch. Indoor Air Professionals will tell you it's impossible because we shed 50 million skin cells daily. But their customers swear by the results. Indoor Air Professionals can improve dust, allergies, asthma, and even your heating and cooling system. They've even found lost money and jewelry. So call Peter at 683-3000 extension 303 for amazing deals.
For every breath you take. Live, local, Buffalo. All day long. News Radio 930 WBN.
11:21 is Hammer Time. Good morning, it's Dominic Ortiz. And how are you? 803-0930. Pick up the phone and give us a call. As we travel now from Kenmore to Tonawanda to South Buffalo and then back to your house here on WBN. Pick up the phone and give us a call. Larry in Kenmore, you're next.
Good morning, Dominic. Last week you guys spoke about preventative maintenance and hot water tanks, periodically draining them out.
Right.
You spoke about cleaning out the air conditioner fins and so on. Is there anything else that you can think of that should require some just normal periodic maintenance that we should all take a peek at around the house?
There, around the house or with the hot water tank?
No, it's around the house.
Okay, well, top of the list, as I've just been talking about, in the summertime, it would be the AC condenser to clean it from any cottonwood. The other thing I would be mindful of is drainage. Are downspouts working? Are they piped away? Are your gutters collecting the water and not overspilling? Overspilling gutters are a sign that the gutter is either undersized or is clogged. And overspilling gutters can lead to a lot of problems with water, both damaging the siding and then leaking back into the basement. So checking for your gutters and their cleanliness and their operation, important to do on a regular schedule. Your sump pump, making sure it's working, checking its operation, make sure it's piped well away from the house and not cycling that water back in. Also, again, all part of the whole drainage equation. When we have a heavy rain and if we see puddling anywhere, another indication that we need to fix what might be a poor drainage situation, a low-lying spot, eliminating those by putting in drain tile or bringing in fill to eliminate a low area. Also, something I would be very concerned about. Low-lying areas that collect water could lead to mosquito problems, and not to mention water infiltration back into the basement, especially if it's around the house. Other than that, in the summertime, the time to maybe think about your windows and your doors as far as how they operate to be ready for the next heating season. Caulking windows and door frames, checking for drafts. This is the time to do it when the weather is going to allow you to work comfortably outside, as opposed to either being, possibly too hot or too cold to work. So keep that in mind. Drafts can be caulked and prevented by doing a visual inspection around the perimeter of your house. Operation of your garage door, also an important consideration. Gorilla Garage Door can come out and do a 15-point check. Again, these are things you want to do to prevent problems so they aren't going to break down on you and then have an issue of its operation when you need it and it's not there for you.
Well, that'll get me going. I appreciate your time.
Okay, Larry, great question, and thanks for calling. Larry's line now available as we travel to South Buffalo and chat with Dave. Hello, Dave, you're next.
Hi, I called you last week about replacing a hot water heater.
Yes.
Okay, so we had it replaced, but the old one had 4 legs on it, right?
Okay.
And I looked at it carefully, and it turns out one of the legs wasn't completely on the ground. So I think it was the stress that caused the failure.
Meaning it wasn't sitting level?
Yeah.
Well, that's a good point and a valid concern.
Yeah.
So let me understand this. An installer came, put in a new hot water tank, and didn't take the time to level it.
Well, not the new one did. The old one. I'm talking about the old one that was replaced.
Got it.
The one that
Got
failed.
it. Got it. Okay.
I think that's why it failed, because it was under stress. There was one leg that wasn't on the ground, so it was under stress.
How far off level was it?
Oh, just a couple millimeters.
Yeah. That's a really clever catch on your part, because the whole idea here is balance and trueness do impact the operation. So the new unit sitting level, how old is the new unit?
Well, a week.
Okay. So keep in mind, we just talked with the earlier caller about things to think about on a regular schedule. Put this on the list of draining off water from time to time. How many people live in the house, David?
2.
So you have to remember that with limited consumption, you could shorten the life of the new hot water tank if you don't use the hot water. And a way to prolong its life is to drain water off from the bottom of it at least once a month or every other month. That will increase its lifespan because it will not allow for mineral deposits to form in the bottom of the tank. How long did the last one last for you?
I 15, 20 years.
Mm-hmm. Well, that's pretty good.
I think it was the stress of the level.
Yeah. Well, plan for a shorter lifespan, though, David, with the new one, because that everything is made now to be disposable, and including hot water tanks.
Well, this one's a ream, and it says it's very high efficient. So
Yeah. Good.
I'm hoping it's a good quality.
Just promise me you'll put that on the list from time to time, a couple times a year, 3 times a year, to drain off a couple of gallons until it stops hissing and spitting, and that will ensure that we get as much life out of this thing as we can. Hey, curious, one other question before I let you go. Did you, by any chance, entertain the idea of going tankless?
Yes, I did, but they were prohibitively expensive.
Yeah. They are like 3 or 4 times more.
Yeah.
The only there's a lot of advantages. One is that you never run out of hot water. There's no tank.
I wanted to, but it was just too much.
Yeah, I get it. All right, David. Thanks for calling. Yeah. So when we talk about the idea of tankless being the smart solution, obviously it's more money. And you really have to do the math as to whether it's worth the investment for you. I happen to think that if you can not have to worry about hot water running out, that's a big plus, right? If you get a substantially more lifespan, another plus. And I do have to add to the negative side. One big negative with a tankless unit, it takes a while for the hot water to reach you. Of course, that's something that I've learned to live with, and it's not a huge deal, but it is a little bit of an annoyance, waiting for that hot water to reach the faucet. And in my case, the master shower, is as far away from the unit as it could possibly be. The absolute opposite corner of the house, second floor, farthest away from the hot water tank or the tankless unit as it could possibly be. But be that as it may, we've gotten used to that, and we just turn it on and do one other little thing before you get in the shower, and there you go. It's ready to go. Do tankless units need an electric start? Yes, there is an electrical component, but it's like a electronic ignition. It ignites the unit and operates it with the gas. But yes, so texter's writing, tankless needs an electric start, and the answer is yes. 803-0930. That's the number for you this Saturday morning as we enjoy open phones till noon. And let out some time for you to participate in the program, anything around the house. 803-0930. Outside Buffalo, 1-800-616. WBEN and the Volkswagen of Orchard Park Text Board, open and operating for your text, same as our call-in number, 803-0930. Our next break comes up in just a few seconds. It's the bottom of the hour news break, and then we're back with another half hour of Hammer Time Radio for the last weekend of June, right here on WBEN.
News Radio 930 AM WBEN.
ABC News, I'm Brian Clark. The Senate is scheduled to hold a procedural vote today on the Republican spending bill that President Trump wants to sign into law by July 4th. ABC's Christian Cordero has more.
The bill now before the Senate extends Trump's 2017 tax cuts, and according to the Congressional Budget Office, has cuts to Medicaid that could lead to an estimated 11 million people losing their insurance over the next decade.
The Supreme Court allowed President Trump to move forward with his plan to end birthright citizenship with a ruling that restricts the powers of lower court judges to block executive orders. Court also allowed parents to opt their children out of classes with LGBTQ books if they violate their religious beliefs. Minnesota Governor Tim Walz expected to speak at today's funeral for the former House Speaker Melissa Hortman, who was killed along with her husband 2 weeks ago in what authorities say was a targeted political attack. More than 400 flights into and out of Atlanta canceled today because of severe weather. This is ABC News.
From the WBEN Paul Davis Restoration Newsroom, I'm Tom Puckett. Here's what's happening. Chris Scanlon will not seek a third-party run for Buffalo mayor in November. In a statement, Scanlon says after careful consideration, hours of thoughtful debate, and heartfelt conversations with his wife, family, friends, and supporters, he made what he called the incredibly difficult decision to suspend his campaign for mayor. He finished second to Senator Sean Ryan in Tuesday's primary. The town of Tonawanda and the town of Tonawanda Police Club say they have reached a comprehensive agreement that resolves recent differences. Some police officers were disciplined for violating the tailor law for an alleged strike by not writing tickets this past winter.
They're not contesting any of the charges that we brought against them. So they did what they did. I've been saying that since day one. It's time to move on.
Supervisor Joe Eminger says the two sides are now working together to resolve their differences and build a stronger relationship. The ride for Roswell taking place this morning and afternoon. Amherst police say there will be road restrictions near UB North as riders take part. This event raises millions for Roswell Park Comprehensive Cancer Center and is in its 30th year. From the WBEN Paul Davis Restoration Newsroom, I'm Tom Puckett.
This is Hammer Time Radio, brought to you by Lakeshore Savings Bank, putting people first since 1891.
Hi, it's Dominic Ortiz. Looking for energy-efficient windows that stand up to Western New York weather? Lenco Supplies has you covered. 400 series windows from Anderson are so energy efficient, they help keep your house cool in the summer and warm in the winter. Plus, free delivery on orders over $500. For more info on 400 series windows from Anderson, visit lenco.supply. Summer in Western New York. We wait for it all year and live for every sunny minute. Dominic Ortiz here. Make sure your home stays comfortable all season long with a $99 health and safety checkup from TRS Heating and Air Conditioning. Need an upgrade? TRS can recommend a high-efficiency ream system to keep you cool through the heat with flexible financing to fit your budget. Visit TRSHeatingandAirConditioning.com for details. TRS Heating, Air Conditioning, and Electrical Excellence. Powering tomorrow, comforting today. Hi, it's Dominic Ortiz. Whenever someone asks me, who do you call for roof repair or replacement, I say call Ava Roofing and Siding. They install over 1.5 million square feet of shingles and siding annually across Western New York. When you call Ava, you get superior service, including expert foreman on every job. Get an on-the-spot free written estimate and project drawing for your roof replacement or repair by calling 343-ROOF or go to avaroofing.com. Ava also offers 0% financing. When quality matters, call Ava Roofing. Attention contractors, this is Dominic Cortez here to remind you that Herb Company is your trusted source for top quality contractor installed products. From tankless hot water heaters to energy efficient boilers and radiant heating systems, Herb has what you need to stay ahead of the curve. With building code changes coming next year, costs are likely to rise. So now's the time to lock in savings. Visit herbcompany.com or call one of our knowledgeable sales associates at 825-1400 today. Plan ahead and save with Herb Company, your partner in excellence. Hi, Dominic Cortez here. If your home heats up fast in the summer or your AC is always running, USA Insulation can help. Their premium foam keeps hot air out and cool air in, so your home stays comfortable and energy efficient. Right now, qualifying New York homeowners can get up to 80% of the cost covered with state and federal incentives. They even offer spray foam for businesses. Call 716-431-4500 or go to USAinsulation.com.
USA Insulation.
And tell them Dominic sent you.
Lakeshore Savings Bank believes in community banking. With exceptional customer service and local expertise, Lakeshore Savings is here to help you with all your financial needs. From home financing to small business banking, Lakeshore Savings gives you access to local bankers who are dedicated to serving the community. Visit one of Lakeshore Savings Bank's 10 Western New York branches. Call 716-366-4070 or visit lakeshoresavings.com today. Lakeshore Savings Bank. Putting people first since 1891.
Read the news online at WBEN.com.
$11:36 is Hammer Time. Good morning from Dominic Cortez. And how are you? 803-0930. Pick up the phone and give us a call. Anything around the house as we travel to Hamburg and chat with Judy. Good morning, Judy. You're next.
Good morning. I wanted to add on to the conversation about the tankless system.
Okay.
We just had our second tankless system installed maybe less than a month ago.
Okay.
The first one had been one of the first ones, so it was probably 12, 13 years ago. And the improvement that has been made is just astonishing. But most of all, the company that put in our new system offered us something, an add-on. I don't know exactly what it was called, a T something or other. It's not big, but it's a small extra piece of equipment that was installed in the vanity of one of our upstairs bathrooms.
Recirculating pump.
And literally within 5 seconds, there is warm water to any faucet in the house and in the shower, which our shower is kind of like yours at the opposite end of the house and upstairs. It's much quicker.
So that's a recirculating pump. I keep forgetting to mention that is an option. I understand that they work. How much more did it add to the cost?
I think a little over $200.
So not enough to worry about.
No, because I was so tired of this cold water sandwich and tired of washing my hands in cold water for years. And when the gentleman from the company said, we have this option, and I thought, we're doing it, and it is so worthwhile.
Well, I appreciate you sharing that, Judy. I've got to remember to mention that next time this comes up.
Okay, thank you.
Okay, dear. Thanks for the call. Judy's line now available, 803-0930. A texter wrote, does the tankless unit need an electric start? The answer is yes, and then they wrote back, so no hot water in an outage. Well, but I have my tankless unit connected to my generator. So we never run out of hot water even in an outage. So there you go. Hi, Dom. I have a double in Lovejoy that was built in 1900. I have a chimney around the middle of the house, which I know my furnace and the 2 hot water tanks are vented. I also have a chimney towards the back of the house that really needs repair or replacement. I cannot find anything in the basement or partial attic that it's connected to. Is it possible it was used for a wood-burning stove or a fireplace years ago? I think most houses around here had additions put on a long time ago. And who could I call to have it checked? Okay. So first thing we got to figure out is what this chimney is for, and if nothing's connected to it, then yes, it might have been a space heater, it might have been a wood burning stove, it might have been even an oven or a range that was connected to it. And if it's not functional at all anymore, and you're sure that nothing's tied into it, and I would want to make sure we double check that, then yes, it could be removed. The idea of getting it removed would be involved. It would have to be taken down in sections. But, and I guess the other question I would ask is what reason would you want to have it removed? And I can tell you some advantages of getting a chimney removed. Top of the list, you wouldn't have to worry about the penetration anymore through the roof as far as being a possible source of water infiltration or a leak. Secondly, it would free up square footage in the house. So if you're thinking of a renovation and opening up a space or opening up a wall, then yes, the idea of taking the chimney down would give you that advantage. But other than those two advantages, there's really nothing else I can think of as to why you'd want to take it down. So it's sitting idly and doing nothing is really fine. But if it's the source of a problem, especially if it's a source of water infiltration, then without question, I'd want to look at what we could do to get rid of this. The idea of who would take it down, it would be, I guess, dependent on what we might want to do. Like, for example, if you're going to want to open up the wall and maybe remodel a space, then we could come over as part of that job and include the removal of the chimney. If you're thinking of a new roof, then maybe, Ava could come out and take the chimney down, maybe as far as through the attic space. So, yeah, if it's going to relate to something else that you might want to do, then yes, that would be who I would have you hired to take it down. The texter wrote back that bricks are falling off. Okay, so there you go. That's a good reason to take it down. And I would say you might want to, in taking it down, also look at the hole's going to have to be filled. So maybe it's the time to have the roof done. And so therefore, I would send you to Ava to get a price on including that, the chimney removal to at least below the roof line or maybe through the attic, and then re-roof the space, because obviously that's going to have to be part of the whole equation, right? You have to deal with the gap in the roof when the chimney's removed. So there you go. I would send you to Ava. The texture about the hot water unit being connected to an electrical connection, I answered that yes, it needs electricity, and mine's connected to a generator. Well, they wrote back, can't afford a generator. Well, thank you for the info. Well, you're welcome. Obviously, yes, generators are not cheap. The question that I have for anybody who doesn't have a generator is, the comfort level that a generator affords to make you feel safe at home doesn't have a price tag. So saving for a generator with that in mind, I think, is definitely a worthy investment. So keep that in mind too. Hey, by the way, I was asked to repeat the upcoming classes for you. July 7th is the pizza workshop at our Come Home to Cortese Cooking School. July the 7th. July the 21st, that class is repeated. So we have 2 pizza workshops coming up in July. August 11th, Frutte de Mare. Now that's going to be a fun one. I'm going to try to get myself to that one. Gifts from the Sea, grilled pesto shrimp, grilled calamari, and granita. That's August the 11th. I think we're going to do that one outside, too. The outside classes are always more fun. Summer Antipasto is August the 18th. This is also an outdoor class. Classic caprese salad, prosciutto and melon, bruschetta, and Italian beer will be celebrated on August the 18th for summer Antipasto. So that's coming up, the summer series. In September, we go to Southern Classics. September 8th, Southern Classics, Pasta Norma, Manicotti, and Cannelloni on September the 8th. And one more I'll give you, that's September the 22nd, Sunday at Nonna's house. Yep, Sunday at Nonna's, pasta pomodoro, chicken cutlets, sauteed beans and garlic and oil, It sounds like everyone's Italian grandmother's cooking, right? Pasta pomodoro, chicken cutlets, and sautéed beans in garlic and oil. That's Sunday at Nonna's, September 22nd. So those are the classes coming up in the next several weeks. Check it out at Cortez.net. It's a drop-down menu. Come home to Cortez Cooking School, and you can register right there online. And also give the gift of a class, too, which is a great thing to surprise somebody with. Love to have you come out and check out our Come Home to Cortez Cooking School, as well as our showroom at 9074 Main Street in Clarence. Just one segment left of Hammer Time Radio for this Saturday morning. Participate in the program by giving us a call, 803-0930, or text us, same as our call-in number, 803-0930. We're back with more right after this.
Imagine a dust-free environment in your home or workplace. Sounds too good to be true. Well, it is. But there's a catch. Indoor Air Professionals will tell you it's impossible because we shed 50 million skin cells daily. But their customers swear by the results. Indoor Air Professionals can improve dust, allergies, asthma, and even your heating and cooling system. They've even found lost money and jewelry. So call Peter at 683-3000 extension 303 for amazing deals.
For every breath you take.
Hi, it's Susan Rose. If a kitchen or bath remodel is on your mind, now's the time to act. Kitchen and Bath Unlimited is offering Kemper Echo cabinets with all wood box construction, plus an extra 20% off, saving you up to 30% in total value. Their designers are amazing. I worked with them nearly 20 years ago, and my cabinets are still in excellent condition. Visit Kitchen and Bath Unlimited showroom on Union near Walden and Cheektowaga.
Kitchen and Bath Unlimited.
Online at kitchenandbathunlimited.net.
Hi, it's Dominic Cortez. For top quality aluminum railings, go with Regal Railings from Lenco Supplies. Made from 100% pure, high-strength aluminum, durable and beautiful. Plus, for a limited time, get free delivery on orders over $500. Order in-store or online at Lenco.supplies. Choose from Picket and Glass Systems or upgrade to their sleek, frameless Crystal Rail system. For easy, affordable building material solutions. Summer in Western New York. We wait for it all year and live for every sunny minute. Dominic Cortez here. Make sure your home stays comfortable all season long with a $99 health and safety checkup from TRS Heating and Air Conditioning. Need an upgrade? TRS can recommend a high-efficiency ream system to keep you cool from the heat with flexible financing to fit your budget. Visit TRSHeatingandAirConditioning.com for details. TRS Heating, Air Conditioning, and Electrical Excellence. Powering tomorrow, comforting today. Why is the Gorilla Floor the best resinous floor coating on the market? Simple. We're the only company bold enough to guarantee protection against the #1 cause of garage floor failure, moisture. Every Gorilla Floor includes a vapor barrier and no extra cost. No shortcut when it comes to long-term protection. Protect your garage with a Gorilla Floor and say goodbye to peeling and failure. And for Hammer Time listeners, take 10% off any garage floor installation 400 square feet or more, just in time for summer.
Stay tuned right after Hammer Time for Senior Radio Buffalo, hosted by Linda Pellegrino. Senior Radio is dedicated to informing and educating baby boomers and active seniors all over Western New York. Coming up at noon.
11:48 is Hammer Time. Good morning from Dominic Cortez, taking you right up till noontime and the news, and then Linda Pellegrino in Senior Radio right here on WBEN. Right now we've got 77 and sunny degrees outside. Looks like tomorrow's going to be a great day, another warm one, and I guess we got even more warmth coming on Monday when it then starts to moderate a bit. So we'll be wrapping the show up in the next few minutes, and if you have anything else you want to add, you can do so right now by calling us 803-0930, outside Buffalo 1-800-616-WBEN, and the Volkswagen of Orchard Park text board, same as our call-in number, 803-0930. Texter's writing, Dominic, did you make your cardoons this year? Of course. We make them all year round because you know what Diane does? She freezes them. When we see them in the store, she buys a bunch, and then she parboils them and freezes them. And then from time to time, she'll surprise me with her cardooni patties, which are the cardoons mixed with eggs and she does a great job with those. And I remember her telling me stories about her mother roaming Western New York looking for cardoons and on the roadside. And, they had a knife that they kept in the car to cut them down. They are a celery-related vegetable, if you aren't familiar with cardoons. They have a big leaf, and they have big celery-like stalk. Kind of tough, if you're not used to the proper process of cooking them, which involves boiling them. It's funny about that kind of thing. It was, in most cases, a crop that would be wild and would grow on the roadside. So, for those that had little, it created a great staple of being able to enjoy a vegetable without paying for it.
I believe some people can do that with the burdock.
That's basically the same thing. Burdock and cardoon are the same thing. Yeah. So, interesting parallel there. Texter's writing, what company do you recommend for basement waterproofing? Right now, we don't have anybody in our family, but P&G Woods is a advertiser here, and so I would send you to them. They're good people. I've met them. I'd like to get them into the mix if we can. P&G Woods Construction would be where I'd send you. Right now, as I say, they're not part of the Hammer Time family, so I can't make any promises. But I would at least send you there because they are an advertiser here on the station. To Williamsville we go, and Dennis, good morning.
Good morning. How are you?
Good, sir. How you doing?
Good. I got to ask you, where are you finding the Gardoons? We couldn't find any this year.
We buy them at Dashes on Main Street in Clarence.
You do?
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
Okay, we have the scissors, the knife.
So you're good to go.
Everything in the car.
Yeah. You gotta know where they grow, and I guess maybe I think I was told sometimes along the thruway, but I don't know exactly where. Imagine being stopped by the state trooper. He comes up behind you. What are you doing? And you got a knife in your hands.
Believe me, my wife and I. This is a funny story. Not funny, but my mother-in-law passed 4 years ago, and she was a big Gardoon woman, and we were coming out of the church, and we're all in our suits and all dressed up, and there was a patch on the side of the road towards your car, and no lie, we had 15 people picking Gardoons. And I ruined my dress shirt. I had grass stains.
I love it.
And I've got a picture of me with a knife. One of our friends took a picture, and I was holding up like, "Don't you dare touch my Gardoon."
There you go.
And my wife made it into an apron.
Yeah, there you go. You gotta have grown up in that culture to really find the value in that story. So thank you for sharing that.
All right, you have a good one.
Okay, thanks, Dennis. That's great. You made my day. Let's go to Buffalo and chat with Lacey. Good morning, Lacey. You're next.
Good morning. Just to follow up on the Gardooni story, my Nana and Papa would do the same thing. They would see and always put them in a paper bag.
Yes, paper
and
bag.
By the time, and your hands would turn purple.
Yes.
It was so little.
Yes.
And I'm like, what? And then you're going to eat it, and your hands are purple.
Yeah. Well, they are impossible to clean too. They take forever to get all the dirt out of them. And
Ever. And then the alternative was I couldn't find them, so I'd say, nah, what can I do? Open up a can of French-style green beans, drain the water out, and put your cheese and your bread and your eggs, and do the same thing.
Okay. Well, there you go. Hey, what a creative idea that is. I gotta tell my wife that one.
No more purple hands.
Yeah, they do. You do see them. As I mentioned, we buy them at Dashes, and they're not available year round, obviously, but they're a vegetable. They happen to just grow in the wild.
Yeah, French-style green beans. Drain the water and put your spin on it. Your Parmesan, your eggs, your breadcrumbs.
Yes.
And it's a great alternative. By the way, I was pregnant at the time. Of course, it was in the winter, and I was craving Gardooni. I'm like, Nana, what am I going to do? ask the old ones. They improvise for everything.
That's so true. That's so true. Yeah. Well, thanks, Lacey.
Thank you.
I appreciate that. Yeah, when we talk, you too. When we talk about traditions, family traditions, one of the reasons, this just came to me, one of the reasons that we started the cooking school was for this purpose, to preserve the Cortez family traditions in cooking. That was one of the top reasons that we started the cooking school, because in today's world everything is so fast paced that nobody really takes the time to do an extensive preparation of a meal, especially in an Italian household. Well, a lot of the recipes are a little involved, and they do take time and they do take patience, but yet they are what we grew up with, right? They were part of life, part of every meal. So having that be able to survive in our family has been great. So cardoons are plentiful in the east side of Niagara Falls. Let's see here. Let me roll this up here by the reservoir, but only if the state doesn't cut the grass down by the road. Okay, so there you go. There's going to be a rush of people running to the reservoir right now, Niagara Falls, but on the east side of the road, the east side of the reservoir, rather, only if the state doesn't cut the grass down. Okay, so if you're lucky with finding them there, let us know. Texture's writing, what are cardoons? Okay, they're really burdock. That's the English word for them. It's probably a dialect word when we say cardoonies. I don't know the exact Italian word for it is. I should ask Diane that. But it's a difficult vegetable to really master. It does involve a lot of cleaning, a lot of boiling, cutting them into pieces, and then Diane makes a mixture of eggs, breadcrumbs, and cheese, and then you make patties with them and you bake them in the oven. So there you go, another great Cortez recipe coming your way. The end of the show here is coming up. Just as another reminder, maximizing your air conditioner as we find ourselves in the air conditioning season. The whole point here is being concerned with your air conditioner's efficiency. And Matt spoke a lot about this. You can't expect your unit to do too much. You basically work within its tolerances. So setting your thermostat to a comfortable temperature and resist the temptation to keep moving that. Leave it alone. Maintaining a steady temperature, allowing your air to regulate your air conditioner to regulate the airflow and temperature more efficiently, resulting in consistent cooling. That's kind of the key. Now, dirty filters, he touched on this too. I just want to mention again, keeping a clean air filter in your air handler essential to be able to promote efficient airflow, preventing straining of your system, leading to poor overall performance if it does have to work harder. Make a habit to clean and replace your air filter like you would the condenser by rinsing the cottonwood. That'll keep the unit efficient. Another thing that we didn't talk about, and I just want to mention this before we leave you today, when you run your stove, your dishwasher, they generate heat, and that adds to the overall heat load in your home. During the hottest part of the day, think about not doing that. Don't run heat-producing appliances when you're trying to minimize air conditioning consumption, and that'll reduce the strain on your air conditioner. By doing so, your air conditioner can cool your home more quickly and efficiently, and therefore work better. The more efficient your unit runs, the less stress it's under, the longer it's going to last. Another thing that we didn't talk about is ceiling fans. Ceiling fans are good in the air conditioning season. They're actually good in the heating season too, to move much needed air around. And so the idea though is the flow should be downward in the heating season and upward in the air conditioning season to maximize that air flow. So there you go. Well, we learned a lot today, as we always do, and I appreciate everyone's participation in the program, especially as we got into talking about Gardunis. And Jerry, excellent job as usual. We'll look forward to seeing everybody next Saturday. Same time, same place, same station. And always remember, life may be hard by the yard, but by the inch, it's a cinch. Bye, everybody.